Can people hear me? Oh, no one has their headsets on. Okay.
We can always hear you though.
Yeah. Yes.
Nobody in the history of the planet has ever wondered if they could hear Nancy.
Yes, you know what? It's true. I'm sorry. You're right. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. That's.
Damn it.
Are you recording?
I need to get this fucking thing. Here we go. So I got to do it from the standing position. I normally don't do that.
Really?
It gets messy.
Damn it.
Did Scott tell you that we're a R-rated podcast?
If there's no wet spot, what's the point?
Wow.
Whoa.
Well, you know what? It's a
Ooh. Wow. Ooh, we went there.
Well, I'm sure it's not the last time.
I have to talk into the microphone.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the rules?
The rules are there are no rules. We spoil. We cuss.
Okay.
But Angie's not going to cuss. I can't see you cussing.
I'm going to try to keep myself under control.
Yeah, we're not gonna cuss.
I gotta stop.
I got to stop cussing.
Yeah.
I don't ever hear you cuss, so I don't know.
Well, it's because I'm trying to clean myself up a little bit.
Do you have a swear jar at home?
No, but...
Well, I guess everybody needs a goal, but I don't see the point personally.
Well, I mean, there's like Katrina from math is like, you can't really, like, the fuck. It has to be spelled D-A-F-U-K. Like, you can't just, like, what the fuck? Like that, it doesn't, like, there's two completely different ways.
My favorite is when it's just the fuck. You see that? You see something, it's just the fuck?
Yeah, I do that. I gotta quit.
Sorry, I gotta face ID this.
Did you just fart? What were you doing?
He's
Are you
smiling
like
at
farting?
the camera.
No, I was pooping my pants.
That's the third fart joke I've heard today.
No, I had to.
You've been with kids.
I had to smile at the camera.
Some of the time.
So no,
What was that?
probably one of the dogs.
Was that a real fart?
Are your cherished memories trapped in the past? Don't let
She okay?
these fade away.
Yeah.
Maybe she's.
It doesn't even come out of there. All right, whatever.
Maybe
Okay, well I
maybe
don't
she's
think we're
making
gonna be
sure
doing it anymore.
I know my place.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Oh no, she's
Just like, you know what? You'll stay there.
She's like the only woman on the planet that knows her place.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
It's about time.
Gear
About
up
time there
for
was-
you're up
about
for
time there
some
was one.
misogyny. Geared
About time there
up.
was
Gear
one.
up for misogyny.
What a
That's what we.
jackass.
Wait till I get into the homophobia. That's the best.
Are we going there today too? Oh
And
my
we
god.
go everywhere.
Yeah.
Holy shit, now there's 9,895 message. You gained 1,000 pieces of junk mail in the last 15 seconds.
Most of them are dick pics.
Wait till you see
bet
my
I know whose they
Hotmail
are.
account. I think I have like
I wish.
38,000.
Oh, I wish. I'd never leave the house.
Oh, well, I'm sure you can find him in town somewhere. Because I think I know where he is right now.
I know where he is right now. I like that. There's the one.
It's that guy.
I know where he is.
That's what I said.
I know you said that.
Because we all know who he is.
All right. I hate to shut this dick party down, but I think we're gonna start.
Nancy, if anybody could shut a dick party down, it would be you.
Thank you. That's gonna be
Wow.
That's gonna be my
what?
role from this party.
That is hurtful.
Point forward.
That is hurtful.
I think you should put it on your resume.
Just wait. You have no idea. Haven't you been listening to this podcast? Have you heard how hurtful it is?
Or what's the European resume? I forget. Your Vita.
your
Vita.
Yeah,
Yeah, your curriculum vitae.
It's Latin.
Yeah, you should put that on your
Not
curriculum
German.
vitae. Dick party shut down here.
I'm sure people are gonna love that.
Oh, that's sad.
We have we should introduce ourselves. Scott is here today. Nancy's here, and we have a special guest.
We
have a
imported her
special
from
guest.
France.
Her name is Valerie.
Valeria.
She's from Culver's, up
Okay.
north by the Walmart.
Culver's.
Yeah, we needed a third so bad.
I can only guess what Valerie's occupation
We
is.
rolled in.
Up by Culver's. I love that. Oh, fuck, that's awesome.
Welcome.
Can you-
Welcome
can,
Angie to the podcast today.
Can you hear everything okay in
Thanks.
your headphones?
I sure
Angie?
can.
Okay.
Yep, I can.
Angie's number one reason that
She's the
Angie's
reason.
here, other than the fact that she's a good friend, is that she's a huge Doctor Who fan. And that's
Indeed.
what we're talking about today. Is we're We're talking about is there four new Doctor Who's that debuted in 2023.
Holy cripes.
Just
That-
pretend.
nice.
Just pretend that's the sound of the TARDIS.
That's Godzilla.
Oh, man.
That's what they
I
did.
didn't even know.
That's what I was getting ready
It
to
sounded
change
good.
the sounds. I was getting ready to swap out the
Yeah. Well, there's...
the stingers, as they call them.
But, would you have had the right sound effects for the right Doctor is the question. Know what I'm saying?
when we did
So-
a Doctor Who episode before, and I had
Sorry for the coughing.
all kinds of shit.
It's
I even
coming
I did a custom version of the intro music of the theme.
Nicely done. I
You
don't
didn't
know. I
made
kinda-
a custom of the intro music. What did you have your own theremin or what?
No, I
Synthesizer.
I just made my own mix of it.
Did an AI do it?
No, it was a remix. You listened to it.
I did. I can't remember it though.
I do like the new Doctor's music, though. I love it.
And I like the intro graphics.
Me
The
too.
video. There's the one part where the TARDIS kind of comes on the right hand side of the screen. It kind of pops out of like one nebula or something, and kind of you see it kind of go flying across, and it goes flying into another one.
just
kinda
like my
it's
career.
Doing the
No.
Yeah,
Does your
just
career
flying
pop up?
from one nebula to the next.
you're,
But
you're all spaced out. And,
Yeah. Well, I do
No.
think I enjoy all of the intro musics and.
I
and
don't.
Really,
Me
like
neither.
which one didn't you like?
for the original, if you go back to the original series with the theremin, because they don't use theremin anymore. You think they use a theremin for every fucking song, and they don't use theremins anymore, but they did for the original. Yes.
Theremin's pretty cool.
I think my very
That's just
favorite
stuck on the theremin
intro
for Star Trek too.
is Peter or Eccleston's. I thought that was pretty freaking great. It was probably one of my favorite intros.
Really?
Loved it.
My favorite intro up to this point was the one with my least favorite Doctor.
Ooh.
With
Matt Smith. Is that your least favorite?
No, the senior Doctor Who.
Oh, Peter
Old
Capaldi.
man Doctor.
Oh, you didn't-
Walker.
Walker,
Doctor-
Did I say
Texas
Walker,
Doctor.
Texas Ranger?
Doctor Walker, Space Ranger.
I
that was the first. That was. Oh, they should have rolled. Oh God, they should have rolled the TARDIS up with tennis balls stuck on the bottom of it. With him.
I liked Peter Capaldi.
I did too.
I
Yeah.
did. But because the intro had like all the the clock gears
Yeah.
going and everything. That was pretty cool.
I
And
dig it.
we could stop here and
Oh.
I'll insert the music.
Who had the Bumblebee
I'm insert the
hive?
music. Okay, the music. Pretend like you just heard it. Oh, that was nice.
Wow.
That was great.
That was super special.
Who had the Bumblebee hive?
The Bumblebee.
Or the TARDIS looked like a beehive.
Oh,
Was there a Mormon Doctor?
shoot.
Was it Jody Whitaker's?
I don't know.
Oh, on the inside, no. Hers
Yeah.
was all. Hers were all like the crystals. Jody Whitaker's everything was crystal.
Like a
Like a big- like-
Himalayan salt
I
rock.
didn't
Everything-
dig
every-
that. That wasn't for me.
Everything
It wasn't
looked-
good.
Everything looked like a
Twasn't.
salt lick.
Yeah.
in
Foy.
there. Yeah,
Oh.
I did not like that at all.
To tell you the truth, that writer was so terrible. I didn't really watch.
It-
I'll tell you the truth. I didn't watch many of her episodes.
And and it's too bad because the idea of a female doctor, and there were things about it that were cool, but the writing was terrible for
yeah,
her.
it's terrible.
Well, and then they did that whole timeless.
Did we finish
child
our introduction?
thing. No,
Or
we
is it
never
still
do.
our
We
intro?
just
See, I don't have our
fine.
sheets. Normally, I've gotten to the point where I have these little sheets that we follow along with. And it has, like, if we're doing a show, it has all the mugshots of the characters with their real names and their character names, and then it keeps us on track.
Gotcha.
Other's we do this.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, we can
This
talk
is-
about the flavor of the day.
It's like
from
the OG.
Culver's,
This is like how
if you
we
want.
started out when we
I
first started out.
I have my
We can wing
notes.
it.
I'm back to my old school notes, so I
For
can.
today? Okay, you can keep us on track.
We can
Well, why
keep us on track.
okay.
So we've said our introductions and we welcome Angie.
And we're
to the
obviously
podcast.
talking about the new
Talking
Who.
about Doctor
New Who.
New Who.
Yep.
New Who.
Which will be season 1, both here and in the UK.
Yay.
Not series. Season 1
I love
is
it.
what it is.
I don't know
They're
how I
starting
feel.
out.
That's kind of weird, but oh well. Russell Davies is back at the helm. What do you think about him? Do you like
Freaking
him,
great.
Angie? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the
we're
best.
happy.
The best.
100%.
The best.
That's a big 10-4.
Well, he's the one that kickstarted back in 2005 when it was good.
yeah.
I mean, and then he was around for
Good writing.
10 years or so, and then he left, and then the writing went to shit, and
Went to shit.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
So Jody Whitaker regenerates into David Tennant, which has never been done before. They've never brought back an older doctor in a regeneration. And did they ever really explain that in any of the specials? Did they ever really explain?
Yeah, it really got. I mean, you watched them all. Did you watch them?
yeah.
Okay, so we did.
It's been a
we
while,
have
but
all
yep.
those. I understood it to be that he had unfinished business.
Well,
That the doctor, that incarnation of the doctor, had unfinished business and needed to take a break, needed to retire,
never
and that's
been
why
split.
and that's why he came
Don't
back.
you kind of retire when you die, and you're no longer part. You're no longer on this earth. You've regenerated into a different doctor.
But they just keep coming back, though. I mean, they don't really die. I don't know. It's
They regenerate, so it's the same. It's the same individual regenerates. So it's not like a new doctor is born, where in this case actually kind of happened. So the previous one of his 900 years or whatever could kick back, take a break,
well, heck,
build some sandcastles.
didn't William Hartnell come back in AI version
They brought
a
him
while
back.
ago?
They brought him
Right?
back in one of the Christmas specials.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that was the Peter Capaldi
that was a
episode.
real person that they just made. They found a lookalike. That was a
Ooh,
real
I know
person.
who
That's
it is.
the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's the guy from Game of Thrones.
It was the old. It was.
Oh, he's also in Harry Potter. He's the he's the
man.
old guy with the cat in Harry Potter.
Okay.
And he's like the groundskeeper, the castle janitor.
For
He's
real?
got the hat. Yeah, that's the actor that came back as
honestly,
William
I'll tell you
Hartnell.
the truth. Total, like, kind of a side note, but I've never really watched Game of Thrones.
Shame on
But I remember. I'll remember this. There was a time when we used to use the term Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. If somebody was coming up behind us when we were gossiping about something,
Yeah.
somebody would just yell Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
and
we'd have our secret meetings and we'd sit in a clandestine location. But if some bigwig were to walk by, we'd yell out Game of Thrones, and it meant to just shut the fuck up for a second.
2 times we had to do that.
Yep. Game of Thrones!
That was stressful as hell.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Well,
and the point being, for
people
it was
were
what?
approaching us like sharks
Because at the time it was a popular show, and we just it would have been socially acceptable to say Game of Thrones in public, and people would have been like, "Oh, you're gossiping about
I
some
get
shit
ya.
about
I
work."
get ya.
Well, actually,
You know.
I think that most people adjudicated us as the nerd herd sitting around anyway. So it would be like, oh, they're just talking about the dragons
Oh
again.
yeah, good word, adjudicated.
Adjudicate,
Holy
yeah.
shit, that's the guy.
That's the
Yep.
guy. See?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's him.
So he actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what his name is.
That old
it's-
guy.
It's Doctor Who. That's his name. David Bradley.
There he is.
David
There
Bradley.
he is as
Yep.
William Hartnell.
Boy, does he look like
yeah,
him too.
he
Now
really
do you see
does.
why we use
Yeah,
the TV?
indeed.
And this is him in Harry Potter. That's his character in Harry Potter with the cat. What was the cat's name? Does anyone know?
Yeah, and the one in the middle was when he was just about to get dieted. Murderized
Yeah.
in Game of Thrones. Yep.
murderized.
And he's a Greyjoy in Game of Thrones, right? He's
Really?
from the Greyjoy.
I thought he looked a
crest.
little light in the loafers.
Oh,
He became unalived.
Oh,
he's a Kraken. Yeah.
Greyjoy. Oh, sorry,
he's a Kraken?
misunderstood.
He's a Kraken, I think. I'm in Game of Thrones. His house is House Greyjoy.
That face is definitely cracking.
Definitely, he's got tentacles.
You know,
don't
this
know.
But
man.
I mean, but you know, when they did the fade to glory, fade to Bradley in it was a Christmas episode, was it not? That it was, I think, first came in. Yeah, because he showed up on top of wasn't it on top of the roof and it was snowing, something like
remember.
that, and there's like I'm the doctor, you're not the doctor. Anyway, they did an old timey wimey. They ran some of the previous footage and then kind of blended it into
Right.
him standing there, and
Right.
it really all it did was look like it cleared up the pixelation. I mean, that's how
Indeed.
close. That's how close the faces match. So that's awesome that they were able to.
And Doctor
To
Who's
get
wearing
him.
an LLB vest, it appears, with a graduation, a PhD robe.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's nice.
definitely got a
he's looking
PhD.
styling actually.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I'm gonna start.
I'll tell you the truth. I really like that doctor. I mean, I've seen every episode
He
since
was the
the
first.
beginning.
The
Yes.
original
he was the
first
first,
Doctor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He was the first.
Yeah, I couldn't stand him.
Grandpa Doctor.
Yeah.
I've watched like 3 episodes of the original series. I would rather go clean the toilet.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm married to somebody that grew up with it. And therefore, I've seen every episode.
Well, I
Every
grew up
episode.
with it too, but I didn't watch all of it.
He remembers when it came on in England. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it came out for reals, he was there.
For real.
For real.
For real.
Stuart had to have been pretty young.
Yeah, he
though.
was.
Really young, yeah.
Do we need to bleep that out since she said his name?
I don't, nah. Because I'm Valerie from Culver's, remember?
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Stuart with a W. No.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. Like, are we talking about the new? Like, we're talking about the new Doctor.
We're
today,
just
right?
we're
Or are we talking about all of
freelancing
it?
right now. We're free balling it.
Wow.
Actually,
are we?
One of us is.
Well,
You don't know
I
that.
tried. I started and we went off. We went off track. But so
You can go commando, but you can't. free
so
ball.
David Tennant comes out of the regeneration and he's in the Star Beast is the first of the 4 episodes. So let's talk about the Star Beast.
Oh, God, that was so stupid.
You know,
What was that one again?
That was the one with the
with the-
big furry white alien called the Meep.
I'm not going to tell you that so the Meep, I think, has shown up in other places. I think the Meep showed up earlier.
Well, it was
way
it was like
earlier,
it was like
right?
one of the it was like a comic.
Is that what it was?
They actually brought those 4 stories. The plot, if you will, or the story
Okay.
from it came from Doctor Who comics or books previously. From what I understand, no video material, all printed stuff.
Okay, because I was told about this, so that must have been what it was. So Stuart with a W wasn't surprised. Let's put it that way. He knew it was coming
Yeah,
because
see.
he had, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I was horrified. It actually made me sad when they went nutso because I loved him so much.
Yeah, it was
I'm like,
cute. He
you're
was
cute,
cute.
and
Yeah.
now you're just an asshole.
And they did a total rip off of E.T. because this thing crash lands to Earth and this girl takes it in and puts it with her stuffed animals, and that was just a total rip off of E.T.
She definitely took it in with her stuffed animals.
Why do you do that then? Then I gotta laugh like an idiot.
Naughty.
I mean,
She had her own little
she was making
her own
them.
little sex dungeon on
She
the
was
backyard too.
making
is
them
happening?
and selling them for money because apparently she
She's
was
into
poor.
furries.
Oh no! Come on now! Well, you know what I thought was kind of. Well, I liked I wrote down the a description of the Meep from Wikipedia. It says, at first it was nice and cute, then its true nature as a megalomaniac future dictator whose ship is going to destroy London.
Yeah.
It was revealed to be a megalomaniac future dictator.
I know that guy.
Who are we talking about here?
It's not him. It's not the Meep. I'll tell you what.
It's a big old golden Cheeto is what it is.
I was gonna say it was. I didn't really notice a comb over with the meat,
Jeez.
but I'm pretty sure it must have had one.
Yeah. He who shall not be named, we will not say his
Right.
name on this podcast. Yeah. Well, so I mean, basically this episode, I think, was 100% designed to reunite David Tennant's doctor and Donna Noble, and to get her to kind of go back to normal because she didn't remember him, and
I love how that
if
worked
she
out.
was going to remember him, she was going to die.
Fucking Dr. Donna.
God,
You know,
freaking the best thing that's ever.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. Dr. Donna fucking owns Doctor Who as far as I'm
You know what?
concerned.
100%.
There she is. There
I
she
just
is.
love her
Dr.
so
Donna.
much.
Yeah, you know, I will give her. She is probably right up there with my favorite companions. Probably number 2.
You know, she's so freaking funny in real life. That's probably what makes her such a good companion.
She is hilarious. Have you ever seen her comedy show
On
from?
that, well, the Norton. What's the guy that Norton? The British comedian that's got that show. What the hell's his name again? Graham Norton.
Graham Norton.
She's been on there a number of times, and I've seen her.
Yeah,
Freaking
but
great.
she had a series, her own series. Have you ever seen that? Oh God, it's hilarious. I mean, fucking hilarious. I mean,
comedy series?
Because a TV show and a comedy TV show. When you know how the the Brits have a lot. They do a lot of the what is it? Is it sketch comedy where they do a lot of individual little scenes kind of things that
they love that stuff.
Yeah, and she
They've
had
always
one
loved
of those shoes. Kind of like the what the hell was the one that's something Britain with the one guy had a real short fat guy was always wearing stretchy stuff. I'll have to remember it.
Stretchy stuff.
Danny DeVito.
I love Danny DeVito.
And then they actually came
Not
over and did
British.
it. They did it on HBO for a while, a couple seasons of that. And I can't remember how fantastic it went, but yeah, her because what's her last name? Tate.
Catherine
yes.
Tate, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably just called the Catherine Tate Show.
Well, while you're looking
Probably.
that up, I'm gonna just go back to the first episode because I didn't know. Did you know
Yeah,
they called her situation a meta crisis?
Oh.
That is what they referred to her situation, like her head gonna blow up if she remembers the doctor.
That's right.
And remembers all of that she learned. She has like the entire
That's right.
like Gallifreyan like gods in her head or
I
something
feel like
that.
I'd have one of those about every other day.
That's not Catherine Tate.
It sure as shit is.
She's all old aged up.
That was one of her characters. So
Catherine
she
Tate
had
show.
different characters. So they do every show, and there were different characters that
Oh, I
gosh.
see. No, that's funny.
she's fucking
Oh, yeah.
Well, oh gosh, she's got like Kim Kardashian.
I was like, oh, that's
lips or
awesome.
something.
Yeah, she yeah, if you ever
Catherine Tate
get a chance to
Christmas
watch some
show.
episodes of the Catherine Tate Show, it's freaking hysterical.
Oh, it looks funny.
She's so
She's got
good.
great hair. Great hair.
And so
a
that's
lot of wigs.
basically
I want to know what her real hair looks like. She's wearing a lot of wigs.
You know what? I bet her real hair is the Doctor Who hair.
Probably.
Oh, probably.
Looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Nice
she's
red
freaking
hair.
fab.
the other thing too with how the series. Now we're jumping a little to the last episode, but since we don't have anything in writing,
Well,
Is
she
the
just
other-
has 4 pages of notes.
I'm
there.
trying to keep us on
okay.
track.
Well, I
you're
mean, we're
constantly
talking.
taking me off the track.
She wants to talk about the meat.
I'm sorry, but I mean, even though I'm really not sorry, but this is just something I thought it was.
Sorry.
They finally closed her arc out. We're talking about things like that, where so she ends up with a job, working for
Unit.
Thank you, and making some good money and with vacation. So she's not a temp. No longer a temp, typing and all that
Working
kind of
for
happy horse
benefits.
shit. Yeah. So
She's
she
like
actually,
a coder now. She's a coder. I think she said that she took some coding classes.
well, and it's just, and then, the gal who runs Unit was just so impressed with her. And that one little short, like 10-second scene, when she offered a job for, a little bit of
Right.
money, and she's like, double it and give me 6 weeks vacation. You got it. She's like, yep, deal, whatever. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They've closed her arc out with something
no, her
positive.
daughter
Pretty freaking
doesn't
great.
have to sell weird stuffed animals anymore.
Yeah, she
Oh,
might
I
want to
forgot-
for fun, though.
I forgot about
That's
the daughter.
pretty awesome.
It was
I'll tell you
awesome.
what, my
about the
dream,
daughter.
my
Pretty cool.
dream, and it's going to happen, is I'm going to get a camper and fill it with stuff like that.
That's my house
Like not-
already.
With stuffed animals?
Yeah, like squishmallows.
Oh my God.
Those squishmallows.
I want a Scamp Camper
I don't
that
have a single
I will order.
squishmallow.
Nobody is ever gonna. Well, on the bright side, nobody will ever. Little Britain, that was the other show I was
The
talking
funny thing about squishmallows, they can all double as pillows, so that's kind of nice.
Oh, I do love them.
Yeah.
about. Nobody ever try to steal your shit.
What?
They'll open up the door, look inside, and go, a bigger fucking psycho killer lives here than we are. Let's see if we can get the fuck out of here with our lives.
Look at that stuffed broccoli. Where the hell did that come from?
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So that was the Star Beast. Number 2 episode was called Wild Blue Yonder. And that was a horror. That was basically horror. I didn't.
Was that the one where they went to edge of space?
And they're really,
Yeah.
really weird spaceship.
The TARDIS somehow goes awry and crash lands on a spaceship at the edge of the known universe. They encounter 2 entities that resemble them. So the Wikipedia refers to them as entities, but we thought they were vampires, didn't we?
They were referred to as vampires.
referred
later
to
on.
as vampires.
I think,
Oh, for real?
I think in the following episode.
This was my least favorite, I think, of all of the ones that I saw this fall.
I felt it kind of felt like a throwaway episode, but it actually was scary. I found it to be a scary episode.
I liked it at first until it just went too far with the who's who kind of thing. We look like each other kind of thing. You don't know who we. I mean, there's so many movies and TV shows that have had the thing where you don't know if you're talking to the
like
person
the
you
thing.
are.
You just referenced one of them.
And it's just like
I got it. It went on
if
too
they would
long.
have if they would have dialed that back a bit, and then I did not like the thing when they were like huge and crawling
yeah, that was
gross.
through the thing.
Yeah.
That
It-
was creepy. It
I
was.
thought it looked comical because their heads were all fucked up and
It scared me.
and like blown up. They were
Right.
like blown up like with an air pump. They could have done something to it to make them scarier.
Yeah.
It was. I thought it was very. I give you. I think up until that point, it was a very suspenseful episode. Kind of freaky, all.
Well, you think about it, it's,
space murder, space alien,
and it's tough. They had one set. Like they went to like 2 rooms in that whole thing. Like what we're looking at right now, that long hallway in that arm of the spaceship, and then the place that had all the buttons. They really went between 2 places for the most part. And that was for a full hour and 15 minutes with no commercials.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I got lost a little bit. Because after a while, I was like, well.
Because at first it was cool. They got in. It was this big, long tube kind of thing. Kind of reminded me of some of the... It really kind of reminded me of some of the shit from Aliens in a way, but more brightly lit.
Well, there was this one super significant moment in the Blue Yonder where...
Oops.
The doctor, he sprinkles salt down to try to trap them, and
that was like the vampire thing.
Well, salt is a universal deterrent for mystical creatures, but he says in that show, he says, I cracked open something. I invited something bad in, and then that comes to play in the giggle. So really, that whole episode was just one big vessel for that final moment. Poor Dash just cracked her head.
Was that me?
Oh, she's got a hard enough head.
That's Dot now.
Okay. Doctor Who? No, Doctor.
That's Doctor. That's Doctor Dash.
Doctor Shoe.
It autocorrects Doctor Shoe.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Like not to like beat a dead horse, but I will say, you know what? If it would have been any other companion, I don't know that I could have even watched the whole thing.
Oh, sure.
To tell you the truth,
I never even thought about that. That's actually a good point. I mean, I was glued in because it was Donna. Regardless, I was watching. I was just so fucking glad that she was back. It was like,
she's great.
Out of all of them, the next one coming up is the Giggle. And Giggle is about brings back an old school villain, the Toy Maker,
and he actually was from video from an episode, right?
I remember that.
So it's the first appearance of the Toy Maker was 1966 in the Celestial Toy Maker.
I've seen it.
You
know what
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen that The Prisoner? It's from the 60s. It's just called The Prisoner.
I don't think so.
And it's this guy that's it's a British show. He works for the Secret Service. If you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm sure you've seen it before. But they refer to him as Number 6.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what it reminded me of. Like the same kind of
Number 6.
Yeah, you guys have got to see that.
I recognize
that is a fantastic series.
Was that the $6 Million Man?
You guys would love it.
It is not.
It's something. It's that dude. it's the Prisoner. It's Number 6.
Well, who's the actor?
It's not Lee Majors, but it's something. Was that the $6 Million Man? Yes. Well, but no, yes, it is. But it's not him.
Look at that. He gets. This is a side note, but look, he gets. You see that white ball?
Yeah,
did he come out of that?
Rover is the prison guard that if when they try to get away, Rover just figures it out and it comes and clobbers them.
Oh, really? That's a prison guard, like a futuristic prison guard.
You guys would love it.
I want to see this.
It's freaking great.
I have a feeling like a certain person in my life probably would love to rewatch this show.
You mean somebody that I see randomly at the mall?
Yeah, in the massage chair.
Yeah, that one? The one that puts quarters in the massage chair?
He puts $5 in the massage chair. $5 make you holla.
Yeah,
Who's that?
For sure.
Is that Stuart?
No, it is not.
It's not Stuart with a W, no.
It's somebody that fixed the lights at Nancy's last Halloween party.
Yeah,
that person.
Light.
Speaking of furries.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So we'll have to talk about. I'll have to talk about that with him. But
dang it! How appropriate.
So Neil Patrick Harris is playing the Toy Maker.
He did a good job,
and he was fabulous.
I do not like him.
I don't either.
But I think he did a bang up job.
I don't like him at all, except for this.
I mean, we know the gays. We get tired of them. So
the gays.
Well, he's a great actor. Just because we don't like him doesn't mean that he's not
because they don't fucking call anymore.
I guess he's
get tired. I wish I was getting tired because of the gays. But
wow.
No, I'm not.
Man,
plenty of energy over here, everybody.
It's okay. Well, you need
Dial
to hang out
1
at Anna McCachina.
555
I think another thing that's kind of creepy
683.
about. Oh, jeez, dude. Are you done now?
Fun Bob.
Are you done? Are you done?
Calling all gays.
He's not done yet. Just let it ride.
Yeah,
Let it ride.
You call,
I just went to a Bachman
you
Turner
call
over.
1-555-701 Fun Bob, and we're gonna let it ride.
God, why?
La, 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 la.
You know that just based on what you just said there, Angie's child can't listen to her own podcast.
Not yet.
Child can't listen to this.
That's why it has a mature rating on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend like this didn't happen for a
Okay.
couple years.
That's how I move through life.
So
like
when you
that.
think about this, so if Doctor Who began in 1963 and the Toymaker showed up in 66, so he was really one of the,
he
the
did a
First
good
any
job.
time, did he?
villains.
What a creep.
The dolls they tried to make the dolls kind of creepy. I
the
felt
dolls were creepy.
yeah, and you had like a trigger moment when that one doll was rolling out. We tried to figure out.
I mean, the ones with Donna when she was in that room, and the dolls came crawling out of the fucking shadows, and
They looked like marionettes.
and then they like came down from behind her. It was the ones.
You've always
crawling
had
out from
problems
the
with shit like that.
clowns and fucking dolls, man.
Do you know what's
I
funny?
Just don't.
There's certain things over the course of your entire life where there's no reason why you should remember it. Like something happened or something is just trivial that you shouldn't remember. But I'll never forget the day that Scott told me that he was scared to death of that snowman from Rudolph. Remember that?
What?
The one that came out with the
Burrell
banjo?
Ives? You were afraid of Burrell Ives?
The snowman from the banjo.
That's the snowman. The abominable snowman.
Oh, I thought it was
Bumble.
I thought it was the snowman.
Not Burl Ives. No.
I've never been anyone afraid of
Scottish
Burl
Burl
Ives.
Ives. Where it is. Was he wearing like a
But
plaid?
shit,
He was wearing like a plaid skirt or
I
something.
knew
If
it
I
was
remember
something from frickin' Frosty.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was
Or-
the abominable
Or
snowman
Rudolph.
in there.
I'm sorry, Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph, that
scared him to
abominable
death.
snowman.
Because I remember
Oh.
exactly where we were standing when he told me, and I don't remember. It's probably because I thought it was so damn funny.
Oh.
And
And you love Bumble. That's your favorite.
I do.
And I like Bumble too.
Bumble's bounce. I thought it was the
there's-
snowman. I thought he
no,
was
no,
the.
no.
Who,
thought that was the
on
problem.
Earth would be afraid of Burl Ives?
Yeah, right. Plus, too, after
Shit, he
a while,
plays the banjo.
he started selling
Oh,
Morocco
yeah.
razors too. After a while,
You know
if
what?
you remember that.
You're afraid of his pecs. Too. Look at those Ricardo Montalban pecs on the Bumble.
Oh.
Yeah,
He's got crazy eyes.
Oh, he was
Yeah, well,
fucking-
okay, that's a
Ugh.
scary pitch. Yeah, I mean, Bumble is scary. Bumble, if you're a child, and you probably were scared of
This
Bumble.
and you know what? They didn't put fucking trigger warnings
No.
on this kind of stuff.
Look at his teeth.
Back in the 70s. I mean, we watched this shit, and it just
The whole reason trigger warnings exist is because Gen X lived. That's why we lived through it. They just
Things
were
weren't
like,
scary.
I don't care.
Yeah,
My dad
who
never
causes
cared
the
about
problem?
ratings.
Fuck millennials.
That never even. We didn't even get scared of stuff like that normally, though. Because, geez.
I was 6 years old when my
Yeah.
parents. We figured it out. I think it was 6 when my parents took me to Jaws.
Yes.
We had a whole
we had a
episode we
whole
were talking
talk
about that. We looked to see because it was, or no, I was a little older because it came out in 70. I want to say 76 or 75.
That's really terrible.
I was born in 67. We sat in the front fucking row.
Child abuse nowadays.
I mean,
you can't do that
Christ.
anymore.
I had nightmares for weeks.
That's
You know,
awful.
that's probably why things ended up the way I did, because I associated with that terrifying fucking images with that naked chick that was going out there to the buoy,
And so that's why-
and they just kind of
that's why
fucking
this
came,
happened?
they came
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and that was so really I guess I have like Steven Spielberg to blame.
Damn it, I'll never forget that day.
I should try to get some money out of that bastard.
Yeah.
Jeez.
PTSD.
Well, so getting back to the giggle, there's an alien life form in this show that has shown up before as well, called the Vlinx, VLINX, that are helping Unit.
In this episode?
Yes, in the giggle. When you go to Unit, remember everybody has those bracelets on, or they're keeping.
Oh yeah, the one
keeping
guy that
them-
was up there
Yeah, keeping
that
them.
was kind of like
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
He's keeping them from being basically corrupted, and the Vlinx invented what's called the ZDEX device. And
Good work, Nancy.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
I'm the researcher. Yeah.
Nicely done.
it's
I
really,
forgot all about
I gotta
that.
tell you,
Yeah.
lately it seems like in Doctor Who lately they don't even try to fucking come up with very good names anymore.
Vlinx.
They're like,
yeah, there
I
it
mean-
is. That's
Okay.
a cool alien. That is a cool alien.
Here's the Vlinx. Or it also happens to be a type of
Ethernet
router.
device. It's a router.
A router.
Ethernet router.
Oh,
The links.
it's pronounced. I bet the Ethernet router is pronounced V-links, though not
Damn
flinks.
it.
Probably, but don't you think they could at least fucking try? I mean, it's just nowadays Doctor Who. It's like they don't even try
Come
anymore.
on,
You know.
that's a cool alien. But see, Doctor Who.
But you know,
best
here's
moment of the
here's
day.
what it is. Well, they couldn't think of a goddamn thing, so they're like, "Well, I got a router with a really weird name," and they're like, "Well, we can't put a router up there because it's a box full of holes. So what's this thing going to look like?" They go, oh, "I know. I just watched The Fifth Element last night, so let's have the router called V-Links, but we can have it look like the what do they call the do they call a female singer that's kind of like the real the name that they
geez.
call."
Are you
Not
relating
prima donna,
that?
not prima donna.
A diva.
Diva.
The diva.
Diva. Well,
yeah,
that's
the diva
what
from the Fifth Element.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that was actually what her name was, you know, in the thing. But we can
Oh my
use
God.
the name from a router and have
You know what?
and have it look
Go
like
back there for a
have
second.
it look like the diva.
Look at its legs. Look like the freaking cords coming out of the links.
Yeah.
Out of
It's
the
an
router.
Ethernet.
See, I was
It's an
thinking- I was
It
Ethernet.
looks like an ood.
I was
The-
thinking it looked like
ooh, it
the I
does
was thinking it
look
looked like
nude.
the diva's hairdo.
Well, here's the deal. I have a
might be a little
feeling
better.
the Ethernet router named themselves after the original Vlinks because Doctor Who just is taking everything from its past.
Okay, but was the Vlinks from that far back, or you just said this was new?
No, the Vlinks is not new. It came out. Unit debuted in 1968, and the Vlinks were helping them back
in
then.
1968.
They've been helping them for a long time.
You have been able to document that.
I did the research on that. Yeah,
And you documented it.
I did. I
Is
wrote
this
it
show
down in blue
insured?
pen.
Do you guys have an attorney? Like, do you have a staff attorney here?
Yeah. Well, what we
We
have
just-
is a whole group of humans that would call us on it if they were listening to our
Thanks.
podcast.
I
don't think you're right on that.
I don't have to ask more than once unless she fucking got it from Screen Rant. And so as long as you didn't find out V-Links came from Screen Rant, then we're good.
I can no longer read or quote from Screen Rant.
They're always fucking wrong. Everything
Yeah,
they do
this
is
is what I
fucking
get.
wrong.
This is what I get.
You know, from now on, when somebody's coming up behind me, if I'm trying to say something, I don't want anybody to hear. I want somebody to yell, "Flinks!"
Okay, that's our new code word. Yeah.
Okay.
V-Links.
Yeah,
It's
so-
too hard to say.
Unit also now has a giant galvanic
Two consonants
beam
in a row.
and new headquarters. Remember how you were so incensed at their new headquarters, which looked like a Marvel movie. It looks like they took the set from Iron Man and Iron Man's headquarters and made their
it's
new
the
unit.
fucking Avengers Tower is what it is.
Made Avengers Tower became the unit headquarters.
Well, but I had heard that Tony was selling it.
It was. Did you? Okay.
There was no, because that was actually from something else that they were
selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
everything
we're
looks
looking
like
at
that.
Avengers
Avengers
Tower,
Tower.
I'm
right?
sick of it.
Looking
And
at
then what
we
the
have
hell do
Marvel
you-
fatigue. That's
Yeah.
what everybody has
Oh,
is
so
Marvel
over it.
Well,
fatigue.
I think it's superhero fatigue, to tell you the truth, because like even now there's like She-Hulk on. You know, there's just all
Yeah,
these
we
new.
watched
which is-
She-Hulk. We
it's-
enjoyed
You know,
it,
it's
yeah.
okay. I mean, I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I'm sick of it. I don't even care. If you know what, so you're 12 feet tall and you can't find anybody to make you a suit. Well, you know what?
Is that what the heading says?
Whatevs.
Doctor Who unit buildings resemblance to Avengers Tower sparks marvelous discussions
No.
among fans. Yeah, that's a damn close likeness. And unit doesn't have. I don't know. Have we in the past seen in the previous episodes seen what unit's headquarters looked like? Because I think it just looked like a London apartment
Right.
building,
Right.
Like the federal building
Nope,
or something.
agreed.
Yeah, I don't think it looked as spectacular.
I feel like
as that.
humans are. I hate to think humans are getting to the point where we don't have new ideas, but it feels like Disney's recycling everything.
Oh, everything's
I mean,
being
everything's
recycled.
ringing.
Are you kidding?
All of a sudden, we've got prequels. Guess who doesn't has two thumbs and doesn't give a shit?
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, I
That's me.
love prequels.
Actually,
I just don't care.
I love
Actually,
prequels.
actually,
I can't
that's
do it.
6 thumbs.
I absolutely love
For real?
prequels.
For real. I mean,
'Cause
look
I'm
at that.
sick
Here,
of
look at
it.
that.
That is creepy close to each other.
I mean, they're flipped 180 degrees, but I mean, there was no back to fucking naming a character after a cable router. I mean, there was no attempt whatsoever. Okay, so they added some windows.
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah.
I mean,
they
zero
did-
fucking
yeah.
attempt.
Well, so let's
Why does it have to be like that? How hard is it to
look up.
But you're right, and everything's a goddamn prequel too.
Yeah, sick of it.
There's no
I like prequels though. I like
but
origin
see, but
stories.
see, but-
of origin stories.
and origin story is fine, but this is where Star Trek has gotten in trouble.
I like
Yeah.
meta origin
They keep
stories.
every fucking series they keep new series they keep coming out with is a fucking prequel.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about the newest movie that is supposedly actually now in development. Guess what? Is another prequel story.
Are you kidding?
So like before, I don't know when they're going to jam it in because sure the series that's out right now, Strange New Worlds is awesome because it has nothing to do with Kirk. And
but Strange New World's a prequel.
and it is a prequel, and it works. That one works.
Okay.
But most of the shit does. I mean, look at the pounding Discovery took.
Yeah.
You know, so they ended up having to push that 1,000 years into the future so they could play around with what they wanted to and not screw with canon. I mean, I get tired of the nerds fucking crying about canon all the time too. You know, deal with it. Right? Like I always say, write your script, submit it, and when you're making a TV show, you can do what you want.
Right.
Until then, shut the fuck up or change the channel. But this prequel, but it's the next movie. Well, how are they going to do a prequel on that? Because the last 3 movies were prequels of all the other stuff because it was back when Kirk and company started. So if they do it before them, now they've got to try to jam it into, you know, before Kirk or after.
That's getting tough.
You know, I mean, just do a fucking movie that's 400 years in the future.
I would love that.
Nah, yeah, I would
You know what
too.
I mean?
You know, like, well, look at like that episode, the one. Let's go back to the one that we all. Well, I shouldn't speak for Nancy, but the one. What the hell? What was the name of the one before the giggles?
Oh, the giggle, the
Like,
episode before the
Yeah,
giggle?
like that was futuristic. I mean, we're at the edge of space.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
futuristic.
The one that none of us
Wild
like.
Yonder.
The one that
The one that none of
like.
us
The Wild
liked.
Yonder.
None of us
But at the
liked,
same time, they
but-
could have done something. I mean, if there was a movie like, okay, Star Trek, for example, if we did something like that, I would find that like almost as enjoyable as like Next Generation in a way. I feel like we're ready for that.
Okay, so did you watch Picard?
No, I watched one episode of it.
Mr.
I
Picard.
listen. I should though, but I've been listening to audiobooks from the library because I feel like I'm getting dumber by the day, and so I'm trying to
well.
like fix that. And
So the funny thing is, I actually went back.
well,
You shut the fuck up. You're not getting dumber by
but
the day.
I need to get off TV
Why
for a
do you
little
need
bit
to say that?
And like I'm listening to.
you're
I'm
trying
just
to just kind
I'm
of.
defragging from shit that's not real, and I'm listening to like autobiographies and listen in stuff like.
No,
like, honestly,
I get it.
Okay,
You're
maybe not dumber.
You're retuning
Yes,
your antenna to something that's kind of
Yeah.
we'll call it real.
right, and you know,
So I
Stuart
get
with the
that.
W does want me
and
to watch
when
this
I
stuff,
want
which
real, I just
do.
turn on MSNBC.
Oh God,
That's about as real
Stuart
as
does
it
keep
gets.
up with this stuff,
it's
but
24/7 listening about how fucking bad Trump is, which he is. Don't get me wrong, but I mean whatever.
It's the Trump
But-
show every day.
Are you
You're
okay?
right.
But
Are you okay?
But after
Oh.
Picard ended, especially the 3rd season of Picard, so that's when everything came. It was like, okay, we got to have a new series now that's post Next Gen. You know, the adventures of that
she staring at me like
era that's later.
Is she okay?
Oh yeah, she's checking things out. You're new.
So,
Smelly.
And that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, or even do something that's either 20 years after Next Gen or a fucking 400 years. I don't care.
Right.
Something that is later.
Yep.
I just don't understand
Yeah.
the fixation with the before. And anyway, not sure
well,
how we got on
Doctor
track.
Who
but,
could do that too. They could jump to a season.
but that's all they do is
that
time
was
travel,
like
though. So how do you do that?
65 doctors beyond where we are now.
But they never live in the same. You know, Doctor Who, it's all about going future past. They don't ever really hang out, you know, in one era because it's a time
Yeah, they're
traveling
always-
show.
they're always
you know,
around.
so that'd be kind of. I think that would be kind of weird to have them trying to stay for a season. I like the fact that they bounce back and forth between.
You know,
I get more of a kick out of it when they go to like far future
Mm-hmm.
than when they go into the past because I'm just tired of that trope. So because with the future, again, you have a lot more you have a lot more flexibility in what you can do
Well,
with
see, so-
shit that's not, you know, history.
That's
That's where you get in trouble.
That
is
is
when
what
you do
Jody
history.
Whitaker's season did. Is it jumped around into a lot of our past to kind of give us a lesson, like a lesson on Rosa Parks or a lesson on
You know, that
somebody
was
else.
a fucking fantastic episode, though.
That was a good episode.
That episode
I heard
where
that was a good one.
And you haven't seen that one? If you want to watch any good go back and watch that one. That was I mean, that ended up being an episode where she and her little troop that was with her at the time.
Her fam
had a bird's eye view of
they're on the bus.
the whole Rosa Parks thing. They're on the bus. Yeah, they are on the bus.
They saw what happened,
and it was. I actually kind of welled up a little bit at the way that was a great episode. But they took all their writing knowledge and put it into the one episode and said, you know what, we'll just shit episodes out for now. We won't even try because then they all suck.
Shit episodes out.
Oh, well, man.
Yeah. And I think her episodes, because it delved into the origin. You said you like origin stories. Her episodes, all that stuff ended up delving into the origin of the Doctor.
Oh yeah, well,
end,
but then they threw in the vomit that is the timeless child because I don't understand it at all. I mean,
because the timeless child is her.
But I don't understand the entire concept behind it, and I've had some conversations.
She was the original Time Lord, is what it broke down to. Via there was this timeless child that nobody knows. I know. Do you have the poop?
No, but I got that.
You
face.
definitely got that face. Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean, I've read up on the timeless child, and I just don't get it. I think it's a lot of gobbledygook they put together to just justify the fact that they have a female Doctor, which doesn't. They don't think they even need to do that.
I don't think it had anything to do with female. I think you're being sexist now.
No, I'm not being sexist.
Well, that's good because usually you're rolling right into being racist and homophobic.
I'm not. I don't.
At least we got the sexism part out.
Don't.
I feel like Admiral Stockdale all of a sudden. Like, who am I? Where am I? I'm hungry.
Let's get back to the giggle because I want to.
And then the other good thing that came out of that was the other Doctor, that black Doctor. I forget who she was.
Shooty.
Oh, yeah, no. Shooty Doctor? I think it was Shooty Doctor.
Shooty is the new Doctor.
No. It was in, the latter episodes of Doctor.
She was
briefly the Doctor.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what her deal was. How she came into being and everything like that.
Do you remember? What
she had the really cool fucking hairdo and she wore awesome clothes. And she was in like 3 episodes briefly.
She was grumpy.
What was the deal with her?
She was fucking fantastic.
I don't know.
She should have been the next Doctor.
She should have been, and I thought she was going to be. I thought for a while there she was going to be.
She was awesome.
What was her deal again?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. She's kind of like how they had the War Doctor. He's kind of a War Doctor kind of thing.
Jody Whitaker's Doctor got imprisoned by the Jadoon, and that is when
she was
her
in that
Doctor
loopty thing.
Somehow that must have been a regeneration because her Doctor came around that new tall black woman Doctor came in around the time that Jody Whitaker was in prison because Jody was in prison for like thousands of years.
Running around in circles trying to figure stuff out.
She it was a bad situation, but I don't remember other than like it was started in that Jadoon episode though. She's
Joe Martin.
Yes.
The Fugitive Doctor.
Fugitive Doctor is an incarnation of the Doctor, the protagonist of the British science fiction. Oh, well, that's just the first person of color to play the role. So why couldn't they make her the next Doctor? I don't get this at all. She would have been a bitchin' Doctor.
She is a more ruthless incarnation. It was initially unknown where this incarnation, who was encountered during the 13th Doctor's era. Yeah, I thought they were going to talk about the... Anyway, yeah, she was freaking awesome.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
The episode was called The Fugitive of the Jadoon.
Oh, when she,
Yeah, first appears disguised as a human tour guide.
She was awesome.
Yeah, that was that was another really good Jody Whitaker episode. Sadly, another woman replaced her and was better, but I mean, I
wish you would have had a better writer. I feel like everything could have been so much different.
That's what I'm talking about. The failure of that.
It's like
series.
Seriously, it had to be the only
was not Jody Whitaker.
Right.
It was the writing.
No, because she's a fabulous actress and she's been in many things.
And I think she took it to the balls to the wall, so to speak, as far as being the character. I think she did everything. It seems like she did everything that she could because in the episodes that actually had good writing, like the 2 that we've talked about, were fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was not the actor's fault.
Do you know what episode wasn't fantastic? The turtle episode. The Surfing Terps. Remember the pirate turtles? I don't know what it's called.
Ahoy!
Oh,
In
God.
fact, I'd like to. Yeah, I got to talk about that in the next incarnation. But let's get back to
We
giggle.
I've got about 20
back
minutes.
to the giggle.
Only 20 minutes or so.
But here's
I know.
So you come on.
I
And
know.
go, hi, I'm
like
going
that.
to be your guest actress.
Your guest ass.
Your asterisk.
Is that what- really?
I was about to say asterisk.
I told you guys up front, but I do
Yeah.
want to talk about the what's it, Shooty?
well,
Yeah, let's at least get through the 4
Let's do
episodes
okay,
that we were
all
planning.
we have left to talk about in the giggle, 2 things. First of all, the Spice Girls, Neil Patrick Harris
not
dancing
even
to the
funny.
Spice Girls was hysterical. That was
When he was in Avengers Tower dancing.
Yeah, that was great. That Spice
Dancing to
Girls
Spice
montage
Girls.
was great. And then we find out that the toy maker has the master in his golden tooth. He's imprisoned the master in his golden
Yeah,
tooth.
and we don't know how. He
And
just
he's
makes
just-
reference. He just makes reference to the master.
He's just
right?
in there. And when David Tennant's doctor bi-generates into Shooty Gatwa, and they beat the toy maker together in their game, basically the 15th Doctor, Shooty, takes a new TARDIS, and the 14th banishes the toy maker, and all that's left of him when he disappears is that tooth. The tooth falls to the ground.
And somebody picks it up.
And it's a female hand snatches it away, and that's the big mystery: is who's going to be the next master, and who's the person that? Because it actually the episode I read up about says the master's cough. Various actors, all of the actors that played the master apparently were coughing.
That
It can be heard
long
from
COVID.
Yeah, like it can be heard coming from that golden tooth. And they refer to David Tennant and Shooty splitting off together as bi-generation. So, yeah.
And of course, in all those fucking old Ruby Dooby Sundays, I already quit the show. So
Yep. She sure did.
You know, that's just plain stupid. So the final episode, which is episode 4, the Church on Ruby Road, was the Christmas special.
okay, so all four of us saw all 3 episodes, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we all saw all 4,
Right.
all
Yeah.
4 episodes. That 4th episode was terrible.
No, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I thought it was terrible.
I thought it was real Disney-fied, but Disney owns them now, so
Yeah.
No, Disney doesn't own them. No,
Well,
Disney don't.
Disney is participating in their productions.
They're the what
They're
do you
the
wanna call
streaming
it?
service.
It's more, yeah, it's
Parent
streaming
company.
That doesn't mean parent company. They're providing in the States the distribution. They have the distribution
Okay.
rights in the U.S.
Okay, all right.
That's what it is. They're not.
So
they don't own it.
So
now.
tell me why
So-
you don't like Church. Why you didn't like Church on Ruby Road? Tell me.
I can't stand her. It turns out.
You don't like Millie Gibson.
Nope.
Who is playing?
Ruby Sunday.
Ruby
Well, good
Sunday.
thing you don't have to worry about her anymore.
Right.
Did you know her grandmother's name in the show was Cherry Sunday?
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my god.
I loved it. I love that.
Good Lord.
I liked her. I liked the episode.
That's
Oh,
I don't
their
know.
real
It was
names.
fine.
I
tell you what. I'm just still so in love with the Doctor now. I just love him so much.
The new Doctor.
That, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth, he carried the episode as far as I'm concerned.
You know what? I didn't
You
have
know?
any. I honestly
Yeah.
didn't have any complaints
He's
with him.
great.
Other than
I
his-
liked him wearing
his
his
sonic
kilts.
remote control.
God.
Yeah, his
Love
sonic
it.
screwdriver. What do you think about that weird oval sonic screwdriver?
It looks like the
what
remote
is-
control
looks,
for
you
my
know,
fucking
like
ceiling fan.
everything's
It's like a warped egg.
Everything's
It's like a
weird.
warped egg. That's not a screwdriver.
Yeah, well.
Why do they? First of all, why do they have to keep regenerating the sonic screwdriver? Why can't it look
Well,
like
they
You know
each-
what?
same?
But they all do get their own little. But it's always been a take on the same thing. Something
He had
similar.
a choice. It's either I get a new sonic screwdriver, or we have to do a prequel, and he chose the right path. A new sonic screwdriver.
So there's some mystery around Ruby Sunday. There's also a mystery around this blonde woman that's she pops up in the episode. She's an older neighbor, kind of nosy neighbor. Because at the very end of the episode, she says, he doesn't know what a TARDIS is. And
That
we're
was
like,
kinda funny.
oh, who is
Yeah,
she? And
right.
that's a big mystery, too.
Interesting.
Is that what you think? Oh, the
Forget
click.
Christopher Walken. You know, that's
That
all I
is
could see.
from the movie Click. He had
the
that
movie
the remote.
Click.
That was his remote. The
never-
life menu.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's what it fucking looks like.
What? I've never even heard of this movie. Adam Sandler's Click. What is that about?
Because he ends up in Bed Bath and Way Beyond.
No way, really?
Yeah.
That is
He
a
goes in,
real movie?
It's bed. Yes,
You
it's
are
real.
kidding, right?
Jeez,
No,
I've never even
no,
heard
no,
of it.
my gosh.
It's been around for no. It's
Okay,
like
it's a
from
Christopher Walken movie. How have I missed that? I
can't-
follow Christopher Walken.
Well,
so-
evidently.
Click
Not closely.
isn't even remotely funny. That's what the Denver Press.
Oh, does that say somewhere? Oh,
That's good.
it's Bed Bath and Way Beyond. Let's see if there's
So as he is looking that up, as he's looking that up, let's
funny.
talk. I'm just going to talk one-on-one here with
Okay.
Angie about this because we find out that goblins are involved with this episode. I thought they were going to be gremlins at first,
Yeah.
but they're
I hate
goblins.
them. They're really dumb too.
And then we get to see the Goblin King, and it looks like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where is Jareth?
Yeah,
No
I'm
thanks.
sorry.
Yeah.
Where is
No
See,
thanks.
and
Jareth?
that's where they lost me when
Yeah.
they're on the goddamn pirate ship.
And Pizza the Hut showed
doing
up.
all
Yeah.
the-
And then, like,
I'm like, this isn't the Goblin
I
King.
love Pizza the Hut.
I'm
you
like,
do.
David Bowie is
Pizza
the
Hut's
Goblin
awesome.
King. What the hell is going
Yeah.
on here? I'm sorry, but
Right.
they didn't do right by that, and that's why I
Yeah.
felt like it felt truly Disney up there. It like felt like
well, I would have thought that the goblins would have been a little bit, like, more believable, though. You think about it, like, so they were able to capture this baby from the, the crib, bring it up, and then they're just like, duh, like, you could just basically push one over and it'd be just lay there.
Right,
It was
right.
it was not a believable terrorizing goblin.
Nothing like the goblins
whatsoever.
ever.
It was definitely like, we're waiting for.
yeah,
know.
and then they're just basically it was food. Like
Frickin-
they go through all that work to feed the
Yeah, that's
Goblin King
stupid.
a baby. That didn't make
I wish
Exactly.
David Bowie would have come back from the dead and fixed that whole episode.
They could have just done
Wouldn't that have been
something.
great?
They didn't have to do a Pizza the Hut. I feel like every movie that has to have like a large
Do you even know
carnivorous
who, you even
thing
know who
has-
Pizza the Hut is?
I know Pizza's from
Okay.
Spaceballs.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
checking.
of course I know who Pizza
I'm
the Hut
just
is.
checking.
What kind of science fiction fan would I be?
Talk to you later, Dad. It's all right.
Pizza the Hut, Bill. You know
I
what?
heard Spaceballs is coming back out. They're redoing it or something in 4K or something like that. It's
Oh,
gonna-
but they're not redoing it.
no,
Redoing it.
they're gonna
wow.
relaunch it as maybe like a flashback cinema or something. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
I like how you spend a lot of money and take time to go back to these movies from 30 years ago, to see them in the theater, when you can get like this. Jesus, he's
That guy
persistent.
I
loves
hope
you
it's not an
so much.
emergency.
No, he can leave a voice. I
Hope
know.
it's not an
I know what it's
emergency.
about. I know what it's about.
Hey, total side note, but
This
I-
whole
I heard a-
podcast
I
is
heard
now
a-
a total side note.
this isn't going online,
That's
is
your
it?
fault. That's not my fault.
Okay.
I have the notes. I've been keeping us focused.
You have been pretty good.
Every
Did it sound
single
like
time-
anybody was complaining?
You know what, Nancy? You've been fantastic.
Yeah,
For the
I
record,
wasn't
thank
complaining.
you.
I
This has
wasn't
been
complaining.
awesome, even
Yeah,
though you might
it's been
not
great.
get anything usable out of it. I just feel like it's been a really fun
You
afternoon.
mean like the last 4 episodes of Doctor Who? We got nothing fucking usable out of any one of
Yeah,
those
we've
episodes.
got
Dang it.
Donna Noble back.
Yeah.
Got Donna Noble.
You know what? I stand corrected.
Got
Of course.
Donna Noble
But
back.
we don't have her back. We have
Hey,
her back.
okay, we got rid of Jody
was sad.
Whitaker. We got Donna Noble back. We got
we got rid of Jody
yeah.
Whitaker.
We
That's-
got
sounds
let's
like
I
a
see.
like
plan.
Jody Whitaker.
Oh,
She's
we had
decent.
a Spice Girls montage.
Mm-hmm.
We possibly have the Master back. I think we got a lot of good things.
As
Yeah.
long as it's not the last guy that did the master. But you were
I
gonna, you were
liked
actually
him.
going to say something.
Oh, it was kind of off track just a little bit, but I had sent a message to Nancy about is it true that Snake Plissken is going to be back in Escape from Earth? Is that true?
I
did
heard they're doing a new one, but I didn't know. Well, all I heard was it was a new
Could you
series-y thing.
imagine?
But it would be him again.
Yes.
Look at how old he is.
Yes,
though,
he looks
in-
just like the Santa Claus in that,
Well,
the
did
Christmas
you,
Chronicles.
Did you see any of the Monarch stuff? I mean, because he's aged.
He's freaking old, but
and
I'll tell you what,
here's
he's
what
going to
they need
escape
to
from
do.
Earth, and he's got an eye patch.
I'm gonna have to unfortunately squelch this because I did some research.
Is it-
Escape from Earth was actually the third planned Snake Plissken movie, and it got benched because Escape from LA had such bad ratings.
Oh, damn it.
So Escape from Earth was in one time in production, but they scrapped it.
That makes me sad.
I think what they need to do is reboot the Escape from New York and LA movies with Kurt Russell's
Oh, my
son,
God.
Wyatt Russell, who looks exactly
real?
See,
like
and
him.
that was actually the
Yes.
thing with the
He looks so much like
really?
him.
in
So this
the
was
Monarch.
a lie. This was a fib then.
It was a fib.
Probably,
Damn
probably.
it.
But it was probably the original poster with just old Kurt Russell's face on
Freaking,
it.
it made me so excited for what was to come.
They had in Monarch, the Monster Legacy thing here. Yeah, Legacy of what was it? Like I forgot.
Monarch, Legacy of Monsters.
Yeah. They had there was a one scene because in the entire series you have Kurt Russell and his son playing the same character because there's flashbacks. So his son plays an early version of
No
himself.
kidding.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Interesting.
And there's one scene like in the current time, if you will, where he's watching a film clip that was done of one of his missions like years past, and where he stands up and ends up, and the film clip superimposes his son playing him on top of him. It is just
Would
the
be
coolest
great.
directorial shot as far as it, because he's standing there and then there's the younger version and it's just they're the fucking same.
Yeah.
Man.
Look at that. Kurt Vogel. He must be from Mandan.
Where?
Kurt Vogel Russell.
Oh, I didn't know there was a
actor.
Joe
That's
Tippett.
funny.
He
I
began
grew up with some
acting.
Tippets in
Look at
town
that.
here too.
Yeah.
He is from Mandan. It says right under the
I don't see
about.
fucking Kurt
Look,
Vogel. Where's
wait,
Kurt Vogel?
Kurt. Can I not see it from here? Kurt, look in the about section way down at the bottom.
Oh, down here. Kurt Vogel Russell.
That's his middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
it's because he's
gotcha.
from Mandan. He's probably a part owner in Kissed Livestock or something. He wanted to escape from Mandan.
Everybody wants to escape from Mandan.
Okay, now this is definitely not going anywhere.
No, that's
Shit. It's over.
That would be an awesome movie, and we could and our friend Chris could star in it.
Yeah. Oh, I hope Chris is listening right now.
Chris, she's not watching, but you can see.
Yeah, Chris is
We
shaking
could
her
put an eye
fist.
patch on her.
Yeah.
For the
Escape from
record,
Mandan.
my favorite gas station on the planet is in Mandan. So
Is that the one? Is that the one at the Mexican restaurant?
It's right by the. It's right by the Ohms Cafe.
Oh,
Because
that
they've
little
got a
tiny
brush
one?
that you can even you can wash your car by yourself before you put it through the car wash.
But you
freaking
work a
great.
lot harder than you have to.
Well, I know, but it's like, I feel like in these new vehicles, there's these little spots where the car wash can't get to it. So I make sure that I scrub that part first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what? Here's the deal. I was so excited about.
That's about what it would fucking be right there.
Yeah.
Check it out, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, see, here
That's
it is. It's Escape
Yes.
from Earth Real. Kurt Russell sequel explained. Yeah.
Well, it's not on Screen Rant, so it might be true.
Look at that. Oh my God, look at that.
But is he returning? Here's what you need to know. It's fucking yes or no. I like how some of these articles, they'll be like this. They'll do a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then they finally get down to no.
There's the movie poster
It
there.
is not
That's
happening.
That's the movie poster.
That's it.
No, Escape from Earth isn't happening, but an Escape from New York sequel is in the works.
Are you kidding?
Hopefully with
Oh,
his child.
This is not a movie poster. This is something that somebody with Photoshop using some new AI stuff.
That's
threw
100%
together.
not a real picture of the Earth, by the way. Do you know how you know?
No.
Because
How
it's
do you
not
know?
flat.
Because there's always clouds over the equator
Ah.
all the time. I'm just telling you that. It's the
Jeez.
truth.
Yeah. I mean,
But see, then you're telling me it would always be cloudy over the equator.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's an intertropical convergence
I
zone
fucking
of
lived
two
in,
air
I
masses.
lived in Quito, Ecuador for 6 months, and there were
I
plenty of
swear to
sunny
God.
days.
Yeah,
Plenty
I
of
know.
sunny days.
I'm not saying it was overcast. I said cloudy. It's not the same.
If
Clouds.
it's a sunny day, where
Burn.
are
You
the
can have
clouds,
clouds
where are
and
the
sun.
clouds
God
hanging out?
Damn
I
it,
would
over
say
the
that
equator.
She just burned you.
Well, I'm right.
You
Look
can't
it up.
really have a sunny
Look
day
up
with
the
clouds.
ITCZ.
I just want to know how you have a sunny day with clouds.
Every damn day in the summer in North Dakota.
Cirrus clouds can be in
Nah.
sunny days.
Cumulus clouds.
Yeah, I mean, you can,
You can have clouds.
But they're
It's
way up there and they
it's-
don't count.
You know what? Now you're
And
talking like a pirate.
they're very thin and wispy.
Hell, this is how it goes. Doesn't matter what you're an expert on.
Whatevs.
She's an
Whatevs.
expert on clouds. She,
mean,
Angie. Angie is
I have
like
had
3
a few-
centimeters away from being a meteorologist.
I've had a few meteorology classes in my lifetime as a certified commercial pilot.
well, guess
Thank
who?
you.
Guess who can't weigh in? Me.
But yeah, I would have shut you up right away.
Hey,
Well, I wouldn't have even tried.
hey, I passed
There we
my
go.
drone pilot's license, which was hard as hell, but nowhere near as bad as like because you don't actually have to fly a plane.
No, you gotta like
Anyway.
sit down and play Call of Duty. Basically, is
It
what
was
you do.
those. I'll tell you what. Side note, the airport maps were the hardest. Those are freaking hard to read. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, were they just
Flight
pieces
maps.
of sectionals? So they were sectionals.
Yeah, there's something else.
There's a lot of shit on them.
Yeah, there is.
And you really want to see something crazy? Look at an instrument chart.
I can't even imagine.
That's nuts. Because the nice thing about the instrument chart is it doesn't have stuff like all the relief, all that kind of crap. Because instrument flight, I mean, everything you do on basically the instrument highways that are up
Sure,
there and all that kind of
sure.
stuff.
Crazy.
And so that's not, but it still has a lot more numbers on them.
Indeed.
Well, no,
I don't know.
Maybe.
'Twas not pleasant, but you
Well,
know
good
what?
for you, though. That's
C's
cool.
get degrees.
That's good. That's
Put it
cool
that
for you.
way.
Please get degrees. Yeah.
I was going to say,
Hey, thanks. Thanks.
you know what they call the guy who graduates last in his class from medical school? Doctor.
It's true.
It's
True.
And nobody has to know. Nobody has to know your GPA.
You know what?
They don't ask. You put
So,
the fucking diploma
My
up there.
daughter
and
came
that's
home
it.
from school recently and said that her gym teacher said to her, "You know what? I went to school just like the chemistry teacher, and guess who gets to play ball all day long and gets paid the same? There you go." I'm like, well, that's not dumb.
Sounds like higher ed. Yeah.
This is
But
K-12.
don't a lot of gym teachers get in trouble for playing with balls?
Oh.
I don't know. Haven't heard about that. Don't know anything about that.
A few priests do that too.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, clearly.
Well, this really went off track. Did it not?
That's how it
Most
goes.
of them do. Most of them do.
So
Anyway.
here we are at the end of the podcast, and
Okay, but the end of episode 4, was very kind of retirement in South Florida style.
yeah,
I mean, the
that-
doctor's hanging out with his new family, if you will, which I thought was very cool. TARDIS is stuck in the garden right next to the
Yep.
fucking carrots.
It's awesome.
yeah.
And that quick little thing about, well, make sure that he doesn't go up and do this, or whatever, any flights, and then the daughter, goes, well, anymore or whatever, because she took him to Mars or took her to Mars a couple times. I just thought that was kind of cool that he was
They're
chillaxing,
actually.
hanging out,
I wonder
retiring
what
basically.
I wonder what the end goal of this whole thing really is, though. Like, what's going to happen? Because he's here for a reason. And I mean, it's cool to see that he's just taking a vacation, but I don't really believe it's going to last very long.
and I viewed it as him retiring. You're just so that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens one way or another.
Because
If anything.
can there be a split doctor? I mean,
Well, there is
obviously
right
there
now.
is, but how long? When is the caveat going to come in where it's like now the Earth is going to explode because there's 2 doctors on it or something?
I
like
heard
that?
there was the reason that they did this by generation was because the actor Shooty has a stage performance coming up, and so when he's not performing as the doctor, they're going to be putting David Tennant into play because they've kind of let him sit there.
See, and I saw an
sitting on the
article where he was
sidelines.
like, "I'm done."
I don't
This
know.
was it.
What I heard was possibly rumor. I mean,
Were you
there's
at
a lot
Screen
of
Rant?
rumor. No, it wasn't Screen Rant.
Okay,
it
just
was
checking.
some British thing.
I bet that's where
Oh,
Escape from
the
Earth came
BBC
from.
owns Screen Rant.
probably
Know what I
got
mean?
the same intel.
Maybe David Tennant and Kurt Vogel Russell are going to go to Mandan and
Escape from Mandan.
just escape from being the doctor. And
I've heard
Hang out at the
all
main
of the
bar.
previous. I've heard all of the previous doctors
Some Jello shots.
are up for doing more Doctor Who, with the exception of Eccleston. Eccleston's the only Eccleston. He's the only one that is like being
She
a,
likes her
a
extra
turd.
verbs.
And I loved him. I loved him as the Doctor.
I loved him
I
I
too.
did too.
And
It was good.
I think he's too big for his britches. He thinks he's the
See,
shizzle.
but see, here's the deal. You need to go back and watch some of the stuff that he's shown up at with some Doctor Who stuff, like within the last 6 months to a year, where he's been on some panels and whatnot. And all he has is the highest reverence for Doctor Who and the character. And he would love if there was a way that he thought, wasn't a ridiculous way to try to just jam the character back in again. He would do it. I mean, I watched this interview of him like a couple months ago, and he damn near broke down in tears. But he had to walk away. He had stuff going on with his family, and it just
Well,
he's
he's doing audiobooks now.
And they were
That just
actually
started.
they referred to that. But the cool thing was the interview that I watched. It was both him and Billy Piper that were sitting together doing it. So
God, those
that
two were
was
good
really
together.
cool. They were very good together.
That's another
Loved
thing.
it.
I don't think they should be naming other characters Rose, because that's a slap in Billy Piper's face. She's the only Rose.
That was
I don't know why
stupid.
they would do that. It's weird.
But there's a Rose in
It's her daughter.
yeah
Yeah.
I
it's her
thought that
daughter's
was-
I
name
wonder,
is
yeah, but I
Rose.
don't know.
But
Like,
see,
what's the like? There's got it.
I kind of
Just
took
doesn't
that
even
as
make
to
any
maybe
sense.
in her I bet she didn't even know 27 after that.
just got the-
It was because she was always hearing Rose. Her entire arc on Doctor Who was fucking Rose.
Right.
And then so she gets the mind wipe or whatever, and my guess is that Rose is just lingering back there as a name, and it was like, what's the daughter? Hey, how about Rose?
Just keeps coming back.
You know
over
what I
and
mean?
over.
So that was kind of how I
Okay.
envisioned it
makes a
working
lot of
its way in
sense.
there.
That
That
makes
she
a lot
was
of
just kind of
sense.
beaten over the head with Rose.
Yeah.
That was just my
So-
sister complaining.
Your
Really?
sister's complaining about what?
Oh, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But but she has a
All
right to. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
So then we're done.
Well,
That's it.
so what we have to start now is third goodbye. We've already had two soft
Missy.
goodbyes. Now we need
Have
third
we?
goodbye. Yeah.
Where's
we
the
need third
casserole?
side
Oh,
up.
look, could they bring Missy back as the master again, please?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck.
You know what?
yes,
Besides the
bring
first
Missy
master,
back.
who was great, she was great.
She was devious.
Yeah, she was. They didn't make such a
Loved
big
it.
deal out of her being a first
Me
female
likey,
master as they did
Missy.
Jody Whitaker. Yeah.
I don't know what the deal with her is, but I like her.
She's fucking devious.
You know, there are very few people of, like, if you want the powerful characters on Doctor Who that I didn't care for. I think Jodie Whittaker got a bad rap because of her writing. I didn't really have any
Agreed.
interest in watching it because it had nothing to do with her. It's just I didn't get into the
writing.
episodes. I wasn't really a super huge fan of Matt Smith, but the writing was great.
Yeah, I didn't
so
care
I
for him
watched
either.
it.
I liked Matt.
You know,
Didn't like him. Too
David
skinny.
Tennant is eye candy, but he had everything about him is good though. I mean, he's good, but the littles like him. Like the little kids like. If there's a Claire's boutique somewhere in England, there's keychains of David Tennant's face all over the
probably,
place.
yeah,
you know,
probably.
So
So who'd be in Spencer's?
there's a squishmallow of David Tennant.
Who'd be in Spencer's?
I think
Right next to the lube.
Paul McGann got a bad rap.
I want to
You know
who's
what?
gonna be at Spencer's.
That story came up again. The other Super Loop. Do you remember that?
Oh, I saw it the other day. Well, look at me. I've been doing these. I've been 3D printing stuff.
Oh yeah.
And this
Oh,
is one,
for real?
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
That's what I did. I'm doing a full size. Well, not full size but about a 2-foot high version of it. And it cracked me up because I was working on one of the. There's the rail that goes up and down, and some guys on YouTube are like, well, if it starts to stick, you make sure what you get. Super Lube is a real good thing, and it
what?
just fucking cracks me up.
Comes up? You know what comes up right after you, Nancy? You were there when all this went down, right? Do you
She
remember
wasn't.
that
She
story?
wasn't. She wasn't there.
I wasn't
no.
there.
No,
with
but
Super
but
Lube.
you remember the all-employee email that came out as an apology for? Do you remember when that came
No.
out?
What
no.
apology?
I didn't.
Yes, you did. I wish I could have.
Oh, the apology.
all-employee-
when
You
when-
apologized to the
I've-
entire campus for something once.
Oh,
I've-
I remember.
I never
remember
apologized to
it
the
wasn't
campus.
the
Do you remember that?
president, but the vice
Yeah,
president apologized for putting a post out about plastics in our food or something like.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was like he sent out.
Oh no,
some
it wasn't
sort of
all
warning.
employee.
No,
You know
I
what it
never-
was? It was just to our small group. There was that group of people that got schooled on Super Loop. That's
And
what
that's
it was.
very- that's very
yes,
likely,
What
yeah.
the
that's
heck?
what it was.
I don't remember
Yeah.
this at all. Maybe
Yeah.
I was gone.
You weren't a part of that thing, which is fine because Darren, that ended up becoming his problem. And then they had to give away the huge ice machine that looks like the 3D printer that looked like an ice machine from a hotel. That's a whole nother story for another time. But there it is.
An OG freaking.
Oh my gosh, it's real. Synthetic grease.
It is.
We saw that a tube of that was laying in there. It was when they were putting it together, and it was in their lab, in the GIS lab, and we looked down, and then in the lid, there's this big honking thing of Super Lube.
You cannot
And
imagine.
I look up at Angie, and we both just bust the fuck out, start laughing.
You know what? If he
I'm
would-
like,
if he
I
would-
gotta give me some of that.
if he wouldn't have looked at me
Sponsored
like
by
that,
And it's only $8.
and you know what? There was no rainbow
can
on
get a
it. It was just
coupon.
a plain wrap.
Christ. It was just like this. It was a tube, just like that.
It was hydraulic.
You know what? I don't
grease.
think I could even check out with that at Harbor Freight. I'd be too embarrassed. I'd have to have like 65 other items.
That
to
stuff
just
looks
kinda-
great. It's synthetic.
Synthetic grease.
Anyway,
You could check out with the Staplex,
It's right next to that router.
the Valex.
The Get yourself some
I
Vlex.
believe it was
This,
Blinks.
isn't this kind of
It was
antithetical?
Blinks.
Stay lube.
Don't.
If it's lube, it shouldn't be staying anywhere, right?
Extreme.
I can't breathe.
Ooh, extreme
Owie.
pressure, multi-purpose lithium grease.
I kind of thought that said "Holy crap"
Yep.
instead of "Molly Graph." But if it's lube, it shouldn't be staying anywhere.
Oh, that whole
It
thing.
should be called Slippery Dickery Dock
Frick, it's only
snap.
15
Slippery
bucks.
Dickery Dock.
That's good.
for a 3-pack.
That's good.
You know, when someone's going to listen to that podcast and say, I'm going to name my new product Slicker Dickery.
How about
Yeah,
this?
they are.
Blaster.
Stop it. Why is Harbor Freight
White
doing this?
lithium grease. They're just selling this stuff, man.
Well, of course they are.
Blaster. White lithium grease.
Yeah, that doesn't go together.
They
And
just
That's
do
only
not.
$6.
This is
$6.99.
why we are
They
mature
just do not
audiences
check.
only.
They do not check the.
This is industrial.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, that seems to be the good ones.
Well, then that's something.
I think Blaster is a good note to end it on.
I'm all for ending it on Blaster.
Yeah, you are.
You remember the Master Blaster from
Yes.
Kid Video?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you rode her out on that cloud.
That was great.
We should start a new social media app called Blaster.
Can I
believe
Can I be
that's-
part of
If
it?
fucking Truth Social could fucking see the
I
light of day.
believe Blaster is already
I
out
think
there.
Blaster fucking.
It's already out there.
Well, we'll just call it White Blaster
Yeah.
though.
Or-
Oh, no.
Well,
God.
it says
Nancy's
white
gonna have a
white
heart
lithium.
attack.
Oh.
It says white
And
lithium.
he thinks I'm the racist.
How about
That's-
just lithium grease?
I'm not.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not racist.
Well, folks, here we are at the end of our podcast.
You know, they say the first
And-
person that's racist is the one that says I'm not racist.
Well, they say everybody's a little racist, so I just account for that. Is what
Well,
I
I'm a
say.
microaggressor. So,
Here we
you know,
go.
like Merry Christmas, Scott.
Yeah. Because I'm such a holy little Christian. Everybody knows that.
Merry Christmas.
I hold my tongue all the time, and that's the thing. I never used to hold my tongue. I used to look at people and go, not everybody's Christian.
Well, I took a training last week that told
And
me
then I'm like,
I'm a microaggressor. So,
you're just some.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
You're- oh.
well, I mean, it.
Isn't everybody
You know what?
to
You know
an
what the
extent?
thing about it though is, and then I'll quit.
Well, what training was that?
Well, it's about
Was it-
it's Title
was it
IX
colors?
stuff. But you know what the thing is?
Did you touch somebody again?
No.
Was
Then
this,
right after
was
that.
this HR mandated?
Yeah, it is. Then
Oh.
there's this dude that just got hired not long ago who's from another state and super nice guy, right? And I'm like blasting this
But-
thing in my office. He's not a white dude. Comes around the corner and here's this
Were you
training
blasting
telling me I'm a
white lithium?
I'm
Were
a
you blasting white
microaggressor,
film?
right? And I told him, I'm like, you know what? I just took a training that's required by the state that tells me that I can't even ask you what your culture is because I'm a microaggressor. Like I can't even ask you
specifically, or is it just like
no,
everybody?
It's like I can't ask you
What's your background?
What your background is as as somebody who's deeply entrenched in geography. I can't do that because I'm a microaggressor. Just thought I'd let you know.
This is.
Anyway.
I still blame it on the millennials. I don't care if most of them probably are. If it's actually Gen Z now or whatever the fuck it is. It's all the
Millennials are in their 30s and 40s.
I know, that's why I said it's the other. It's the younger ones now. Beyond the,
Gen
just,
Y.
they're all fucking whiny bitches.
Gen Y.
God.
I think
WHY.
CeeLo Green said it best. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say now.
Yeah.
I'm done. But thanks,
All
you
right.
guys. This is fun.
This was
I'm gonna
fun,
go back
so-
to Culver's.
We're moving on to fourth.
Back up there.
We're moving on to fourth. Goodbye.
You got some ice cream to make. Or no,
Valerie's
not
got
ice cream.
Valerie's shift is starting.
Valerie's-
Custard.
Valérie's got some custard to make. Some nice. She's got.
I'm gonna go turn some butter.
She's got some creamy
You gotta
custard
turn
going
in
on.
one set of
Butter.
headphones for the other.
Okay then. Perf.
All right. Well,
My
so
name is Nancy.
and I'm Scott, and we are here
And
with
Angie.
Valerie.
Angie, Valerie.
And so we just
Blaster.
say thanks, everybody. Valerie Blaster.
Welcome.
That's a great name.
So-
That'd be a good poor name, Valerie Blaster.
Valerie, welcome to our inability to end the podcast.
okay,
Yeah, she
goodbye.
doesn't
This
like
is
it. She
how,
doesn't
like
this
her
is how we
endings.
just trickle out. We just
Good.
keep on talking and trickle out.
And then I just fade in some music.
yeah.
Thanks.
We're gonna fade
This
in
was fun.
some rumblefish.
Sorry I can't keep you guys on track
No,
though.
Yeah,
oh,
this
it
isn't
wasn't your fault. It was Nancy. So,
Okay, bye. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
I'll accept your microaggressions. Thank you.